Yo, what is going on, guys? Matthew V. Haynes here, aka the Clockmaster. I'm here with which way am I pointing? Okay, this way. Stephanie, say hello.
Hi. Hello.
Yes, check out her channel in the description box below and her Stardust. If you guys are on Stardust, you probably might have come across a couple of her reactions in Stardust. But for those who do not know who you are, you want to tell a little bit about yourself to the people?
Yes, I am Stephanie. I am from Mexico. I love movies, and I just love going to the movies and making videos about them.
Awesome. That's it?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay, yeah, awesome. So yeah, we actually met each other on Stardust. Shout out Stardust. We actually met each other on Stardust, and we linked up from there, and we started talking, and we like, okay, we're cool. She's a cool person, and we became friends. So here we are doing a Infinity War spoiler review. So like I said, check out her information in the description box below. She also has a YouTube channel as well, where you're gonna be posting like more reaction stuff on there, right? Or reviews or something.
Yes, I post trailer reactions and little reviews I watch. So yeah, and vlogs as well.
Awesome. So yeah, you guys check out her channel. Show some love. We're having a little bit of like internet issues, so if you see me like make a face like this, it's because we're trying to get this video done without any issues. But Infinity War, Avengers Infinity War. I saw the movie twice. How many times did you see it? Did you get to see it a second time yet?
I have seen it twice, yes.
And
I want to go for a third time, fourth time.
Yeah, man. We both saw it twice. I had to see it again before I did the spoiler review because there's just so much going on in this movie that I couldn't just leave it for one review. And on my second viewing, a lot of things stood out to me more than it did the first time. So I'm definitely excited to go ahead and start talking about this. So where do we even begin with this? Where do we begin?
There's so many things that happen in this movie. I am still blown away by it, honestly. I just want to see it again and again to see things that I may have missed or just to watch it again because it's so incredible. I really loved it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll start with this. Thanos. He's my favorite MCU villain of all time. He's literally my favorite. Could you agree on that, or?
Yeah, I do, definitely. And they made him so you have empathy for him and you understand where he's coming from, so that makes him even more terrible but great at the same time.
Exactly. Yeah, I think because you can relate to Thanos in a weird way, and in his weird own twisted, evil, insane mind, we can still relate to Thanos in some way. He has a sense of humanity within himself that I found very relatable, and I found that I understood this guy. Like I was with him, like I was in his head. I understood him, and you know, even though it was a crazy motive, I was like, this guy is like he's making sense, and for some odd reason, he thinks he's doing the right thing. You know?
Yes. And as an audience, you connect with him, and even though he's a villain, you still understand where he's coming from. So I really like that about him.
Yeah, I felt because and
I think it could be compared to Killmonger.
Yeah.
From Black Panther. You know how you connected with him and you understood where he was coming from.
Mm-hmm.
So that made him even more relatable.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree with you on that. I feel. Because I was saying up until a certain point that Killmonger was the best MCU villain so far until I saw Thanos, and I was like, wait a minute. This guy is not only scary, he's completely killer. This guy is completely just one of the baddest guys around, and he brings a threat to the table that we've never seen in this entire universe before, and it's scary, and it's also cool at the same time. It's a weird combination, but it's scary and cool. And
yeah, so you get mixed feelings about it.
Exactly, and it works. As a film, I've been hearing like a lot of mixed reviews on this movie, but as a film, do you think this movie works as a movie? Like putting aside our fandom and putting aside our love for these characters, do you think that this movie works as a film?
As a film, I think it may miss something, but there's little issues I had with it, but the second time around, those went away. So I do think it has to do a lot with our love for these characters and our expectations. But yeah, I just loved it. What do you think?
What did you say was your, because I did have some minor issues too, and we can get into that. But what were some of your minor issues that you found with this film, your first time going into it?
They're super minor, but in my mind, Ebony Maw's voice sounded differently. So when I heard him, I was like, what? Is that really what they're going for? But the second time around, it just went away. And I think the Black Order died too conveniently and too quickly.
Yeah.
They were underused a bit.
Yes, I totally
And I was very
totally
excited
agree.
to see them, so yeah.
I totally agree with that. I mean, Ebony Maw, bow before Thanos, your king has arrived, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny. Even the second time, he's like, "We have granted you mercy. We have come. You're all now children of Thanos." And his hand is all out like this, and it's like, "Oh man, this guy is like a prophet or something. Like that is cool."
Your impression is on point, by the way. You sound exactly like him.
Thank you. I've been working on that for the past couple of days. I was like, how could I sound like Ebony Maw? But I totally agree with you as far as like.
Yeah, that took me off a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I first heard him, I was like, what? But the second time around, I was okay with it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I totally agree with you when you say that Black Order was a little underutilized, because the threat was and since we're actually talking about negatives, I think we should speak more about the negatives now, if there's any. Get that out the way before we get to the stuff that we like about, because I'm trying to think about this film in a way where I'm not trying to favorite certain things because I'm a fan. I'm trying to be real with it. I mean, like you said, the Black Order was underutilized. I mean, there's a lot of characters too that were underutilized, and mainly that's just because they just couldn't give everybody all the time in the world. At least that's how I saw it. And also too, I mean, if I was even to think about negatives, I'd be stretching, in my opinion, because I think there's not too many.
Yeah, same here. I thought it was great. I think my other issue was the Hulk. I love him, and I would have wanted to see him by the end of the film. I thought he was just used for comic relief, and there wasn't much of him. So yeah, that was another point off.
Oh yeah, totally agree with you on that. It's like it always slips my mind when I think about it. But yeah, the Hulk scenario did bother me a little bit, because by the time the second time the Hulk didn't come out, when Bruce Banner asked him, "Hulk, come on," he didn't come out. I was like, "Oh,
and
great."
He's like, "No."
Yeah, it was funny. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but I was like, "Oh, okay, great. We're not gonna see him for the rest of the movie now." Crap. So you're telling me the only time in the beginning is the only time we're gonna see him, and if
for like 5 seconds.
Yeah, for like 5 seconds, which was a really awesome sequence though, when Thanos was beating the crap out of Hulk. That was an awesome scene. I loved it as a Thanos. It made me more of a Thanos fan, just that scene alone. But yeah, I was kind of disappointed with the lack of the Hulk presence in the rest of the movie. I kind of wanted to see more, maybe like, him not afraid of Thanos anymore, and just coming back and fighting him, and
yes, like Thor.
Yeah, like Thor, and which I gotta say Thor, and I'll get to my favorites, but I definitely say Thor is my favorite in this entire movie. He finally became the God of Thunder in this movie, in my opinion. But yeah, I totally agree with Hulk, man. If they could have used him a lot more and done more things with him as well. Another thing that a lot of people don't pick on, they miss this a little bit, but Wanda, Scarlet Witch. Do you realize her accent was completely gone in this movie?
I didn't up till now when you mentioned it.
Because you remember in Age of Ultron, she's like, "Oh, my brother Quicksilver," and blah, blah, blah. And like now she's like, "Oh, hi, Viz." And like, whoa, where'd your accent go? I'm like, did Elizabeth...
I guess it disappeared.
You're right. It was like Elizabeth Olsen was just like, screw it. I don't need an accent, man. Bump this. Yeah, but I mean, that was just a minor thing I noticed as well. Another thing too, that my friend and I, Dylan, were talking about this. I would have preferred to see a lot more Vision being more on the offensive rather than the defensive in this movie. because he was pretty much running this whole time in this movie. Vision was running from the Black Order, getting stabbed, even though he's made out of vibranium, and that kind of bothered me because I'm like, he's vibranium. How is he getting stabbed? Okay.
I know, and he's supposed to be so powerful.
Yeah.
And he's just being thrown around. So
Yeah, but then again, it's the Black Order, and the Black Order are some of the fiercest fighters in the entire in the Marvel universe. So I mean, it makes sense. You know, that's why I didn't question it too much.
That's why I was a little disappointed in them. Not actually in them, but the way they were used and the way they were killed off so quickly. Like, really?
Yeah. No, I agree. I felt, it's like they're so fierce, and the big guy, I keep forgetting the big guy's name, man. I keep forgetting his name, but I wanted to see more of him. Like he was cool. He was just like walking through.
Yeah.
Just like, you know what I mean? Like just throwing his axe or whatever, just like not taking anything from anybody. And I wanted to see more of that, but I mean.
But yeah. This is not their movie, really. It was Thanos' movie, so I guess that's why.
Exactly, exactly. That's a good point too. This is a Thanos film. That's how I saw it. This is a Thanos movie. Pretty much everybody else didn't matter because, like, what they did with Thanos in this movie, they could have made an entire movie about Thanos alone, and I would be okay with it. Honestly, just that's how well the character was.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you remember Malekith from Thor: The Dark World?
Thor World, yeah.
Would you rather? What would you rather see? A movie of Malekith or a movie of Thanos?
Thanos, of course.
Okay, I lost you for like 2 seconds there. Pause. Yeah, Thanos.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And he was introduced a while ago, but here he was so well developed that you instantly fell in love with him, even though he was a villain, and I really like that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Thanos is a guy that you're not supposed to like this guy, but you do. You know? And I think that's what makes him unique and what makes him cool is that.
And can we talk about? Yes, his CGI was so awesome.
Wait, I didn't hear the last thing you said. Sorry.
The CGI on Thanos was amazing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I personally like the CGI, but there's a lot of people in the theaters. I talked about this in my spoiler-free review, but there's a lot of guys like a couple of seats down from me where they were literally complaining about the CGI, how they thought it was bad, and some of them they were talking about Proxima Midnight, how her CGI was a little bit off, and I get that. I can see a little bit in her CGI that was a little bit they could have tweaked it up maybe a little bit more with Proxima Midnight's face, but it wasn't that bad that I detested what I was watching. It wasn't that bad for me. It's because at the end of the day, this is computer products and their digital characters, and I feel. And the complaints that a lot of people say is, well, people are getting paid to do these characters, so shouldn't they do them well? And that is a point, yeah. But maybe that's the best they could have done it with the time and technology they had. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, I think she was the worst out of the Black Order. CGI, that wasn't the greatest. Ebony Maw was the best, in my opinion. I think he was very well made, especially those close-ups and the way he moved and everything. I really liked it. And Corvus Glaive, he's like half and half.
Yeah, I agree. I think Maw was and Maw was my favorite out of the whole order. To be honest, Maw was just great. He was just, I mean, it's just that scene. And before we get to favorites, are we done? Is there any more negatives that we can really think about? Because what about the story? Did you feel the story was cohesive? Did you feel it was a cohesive, flowing story? What did you feel about the story?
Yes, it was great. It flowed greatly, but sometimes at some points it felt like 2 different movies or 3 different movies, the way it skipped between, teams.
Yeah.
But that was it. I don't have any more negatives. I think those just little things that I saw the first time around, but didn't care about them the second time around.
Yeah, agreed. I definitely agree. I mean, I don't see any more negatives for me as well. I think I listed pretty much every issue that I had so far. I mean, if I think of something later as we're talking, maybe I'll bring it back up. But as of right now, I can't think of anything else.
Yeah.
But favorite moments. You start. You talk about anything that stands out to you. Did you write anything in your notes or anything that you wanted to talk about specifically?
Yeah, I do. I have a lot of things that I love. I'm going to start with Bucky picking up Rocket and them going in circles.
Ooh,
And then
yes.
Rocket asking for his arm.
Yes.
That was awesome.
Yeah. I love that scene. He's asking like how much for the arm, and he's just like, oh, I'm gonna get that arm. He's just like he's like I'm gonna get it because it's like he's like Rocket has this weird addiction.
That was awesome.
A weird addiction to human prosthetic parts. It's just
Body parts, yeah.
Body parts. He's just like he has a weird addiction to prosthetic things. I don't know. He has this weird. I'm gonna get that arm later. Yeah, I agreed.
And just watching them together going in circles, that was like, I loved it.
So, one of my, I think there was 2 moments in this movie that really stood out to me the most, and it was a lot of moments that stood out to me. There's too many to list, but top 2 for me that I really loved was when Thor finally got Stormbreaker, and
Yes.
he went up to the sky, and the sky turned gray, and he was like, shh. I was like, yeah, I remember opening night. It was me and the whole theater. Everyone stood up. They were like, oh my God. Oh my God. Like everyone was freaking out. And I was freaking out. Everyone was freaking out. And that moment was really cool. Another moment that was really cool for me too.
That is listed on my list as well.
Yes. Oh my God. I love that scene.
Yeah.
Another one that was good for me too was Doctor Strange when he was fighting, when he had that little solo moment with Thanos. And I love Doctor Strange. I was like, oh my God, he's like going full force Mystic Wizard on him right now. It was really cool, man. I really enjoyed those two scenes in particular a lot. Any other moments that stood out to you?
Yes. I love when Cap went, I am Steve Rogers to Groot when he said, I am Groot. That was my favorite. I loved it.
I am Groot. I am Steve Rogers. I thought that was really fun too. I think the interactions too between Thor and Rocket were really cool. Like their relationship that started to form was really cool to me, and the fact that he kept calling him, okay, Rabbit, let's go. The fact that him calling him Rabbit was fun.
Yes, I love them too, and I love how Groot was on his video game the whole.
To be honest, that annoyed me a lot because I'm like, why is he playing? I mean,
like he didn't care. He
didn't care. He's a typical teenager, and then he says, "I am Groot," and the whole ship is like, "Hey, language." I just thought it was funny. And then Thor speaking Groot is as an elective in his old Asgardian school. I thought that was also really funny. When Rocket asked him if he spoke Groot, and he was like, "Yeah, man, it was an elective, you know." And
that was awesome.
I thought that was really cool. Seeing Thanos, or matter of fact, before I even get to more about Thanos, anything else that you really liked?
Yes, the Iron Spider. That was so cool. So cool. And I wasn't expecting it. Like when he was trying to get Doctor Strange. Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to happen at that moment.
Yes, yes.
And I saw like pictures of the toys and stuff like that. So it's like, okay, cool. So like they're gonna do the whole claws thing, and by time it actually happened, I was like, yes, man, this is cool. And
I didn't see the toys, so I was very surprised. Oh. I knew he was gonna use the Iron Spider because of the trailer, the suit, and Spider-Man: Homecoming. But yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, I was like, and another thing too, like that specific scene, I was like, wait, how are they gonna kill Maw? How are they gonna do this? And I forgot. Oh, all they have to do is just make a pocket in the side of the ship, and he'll go flying right out,
floating away,
and that was. And I mean, I wanted the victory to be more glorious. That was too easy,
too convenient, too easy, and yeah, those were my little gripes with the film.
Because I thought Maul was gonna come back at some point, but I'm like, no, he's actually dead. Okay,
Yes.
well, there's that.
They're all actually dead.
Oh yeah. Well, all the Black Order is dead at least.
Yes.
Before we get to the sad moments, what other fun moments do we have?
I loved Cap, Falcon, and Black Widow's entrance. That was epic.
Yeah, I wanted to see more of them though.
Yes.
Like, I coming into this movie, I thought we were going to see more Captain America in this movie. I thought it was going to be centered more around Captain America, but the opposite is true. There was barely any Captain America screen time in this movie. There wasn't any.
Yes.
There was barely any Captain America screen time, and
But I really liked every single scene he was in.
yeah,
I thought it was well used. Little screen time, but well used.
yeah. I mean, and the trailers too. When they showed Captain America holding up Thanos' arm, I was like, at the end of after watching the trailer again, I'm back then. I was like, there's no way that he's gonna be able to hold up Thanos' arm. That is Thanos. That is the Thanos. And then in the movie, he barely held him up. Boom, knocked him out.
Yes.
Like it was nothing.
When that happened, I swear I was like, no, because I thought he was gonna die in that moment. I was like, no, please, no, and he did. So I was happy.
It's crazy. I mean, we didn't see a lot of him, man, and I mean, I think just one of my favorite things in general about this movie, just seeing all these characters on the screen together, which was just really awesome to me. I just thought it was just a fun time seeing everybody together and everyone interacting with each other and seeing the Guardians interact with, seeing the Star-Lord interact with Iron Man and seeing
Yes.
the little team ups they had going around, which I thought was really cool and really just fun to see everyone together. But any other last thing before we get to the sappy stuff?
To the deaths.
Yeah.
What else do we have? Red Skull. It was cool to see him again.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It was really cool to see him back again.
Yes. The whole theater gasped. I swear, we're like.
Yeah. My whole theater, my whole row. I kid you not. When he popped up, my whole row was like including myself.
What?
I was like. Like everyone was standing outside of everyone was like staring at the screen, like, oh my god, like what's happening here? It was cool to see him back again. I mean, it was an ongoing theory for a while that we were going to see Red Skull again,
Yes.
at some point, and I didn't think they were actually going to do something with it, and they did. It was cool to see him again. He actually plays a character that's in the comic books. Is a wraith. Which I actually learned a couple of days ago from my friend Dylan, that it was actually Nick Fury. In the comic books, that was so I didn't know that at that point. But
the one guarding the soul stone.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah. So the roles are actually switched.
So they definitely take creative chances here.
Yes, they
change
did.
stuff, but it works.
Yeah,
Like,
they changed a lot, man. The Infinity Gauntlet. I don't know if you've heard anything about the plot from that comic book, or you read it at all. Did you read it?
I have not. No.
Okay, so
I really want to though, but.
You should. It's a pretty good story. Infinity Gauntlet. Basically, Thanos' motivation in that story was only getting the only getting the Infinity Stones to impress the Goddess of Death, not Hela. But,
I knew that.
but
yeah.
Death herself. And his motivation in the comics is literally pathetic. It's just he's just trying to like impress someone by killing millions of people, billions of people, millions of billions of people, and that's the only reason. But in the movie, they, like we discussed earlier, they gave him a heart, they gave him a soul, they gave him a purpose, they gave him an actual motivation, and he is seeing things from the greater grand scope of things as to, okay, well, there's this whole world out there that needs saving, and I'm the only guy that actually has what it takes to save the world. And from his point of view, and it's like from his point of view, he's not even the bad guy. His point of view, he's doing a good thing. So I just like that extra depth that they gave him. There's a lot of people going around saying that Thanos had no character, that he had no depth, that he had no purpose, that his motivation was not explained. And I said that doesn't make any sense, because his motivation was explained literally multiple times in this movie by several different people. So I think it's pretty much a common knowledge thing at this point with Thanos.
And I think it's one motivation that it's not too crazy if you think about it. I think many people right now think that way.
Yeah,
here.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah. It's a common thought process a common actually practice. I mean, there's been a lot of, not that I'm agreeing so much with the fact of it, but there's been a lot of world leaders before in the past, the present,
think that way.
even now that think that way. And there's been a lot of world leaders in the past that have actually tried to exact that same mindset or that
way
same
of thinking,
philosophy and the way of thinking. And so it's not a new thing that happens. I mean, they've been like you said, it's been something that has been going on for a while. So it kind of represents the grand scale of the issue that we are facing or maybe facing at some point. And it kind of brings some realism to the fact that, hey, everywhere is becoming overpopulated, and now we have Thanos here believing that the world should be balanced and he has to do something. So I felt that motivation alone, it made sense, and you can see it from the character's point of view, especially when he explained to Gamora that her home planet is now thriving, opposed to being...
It's a paradise.
It's a paradise in his words. We don't know if what he's saying is actually true, but according to him, it's a paradise now and everybody's living happily, and it's like, oh well, he did a wrong thing for right,
a greater good.
But I don't agree with mass genocide. So,
yeah, me neither. But.
so it's like, because I saw a comment. Someone also said that because the Infinity Gauntlet could literally, you can do anything you want with it. Why doesn't Thanos just wish that there was more resources opposed to killing out half the population?
Yeah.
And it's like, I was kind of silent on that fact, but any other things you want to mention before we?
What else? Well, you mentioned it before, but every time Doctor Strange used magic, I was so happy and I was fangirling so much. It was great. I loved it.
Yeah,
every single time he went like this.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
yeah. I was like, yeah, man, you tell him what's up. I remember, just the more I watched Doctor Strange, I really liked that movie more and more, and to see him, go from an arrogant guy to even calling, because the way how Tony Stark thinks, that's how he used to think. So even when they were interacting with each other, and he was like, "Oh, you arrogant self," or blah blah blah, and he's so humble now. He's completely lost his old self. That's completely in the past now. Now he's a new man, and he used to be that kind of arrogant, a-hole that Tony Stark sometimes is most of the time, which he is. He is arrogant. You know what I mean? That's the character. That's what he's supposed to be. He won't be Tony Stark if he's not arrogant. So it was cool to see his transformation as a character too. Spider-Man 2, just Tom Holland was just perfect, man. Like in this,
he is incredible. I love him. Honestly, he's fantastic. Just no words.
Yeah, I think he's one of the best representations of Spider-Man.
He is so good at emotion to make you feel for him. Mm-hmm. It was so sad, honestly. I just cry thinking about it again.
Okay. Now, since we're talking about crying, which death hurt you the most? I know I already told you which one was mine, but which death hurt you the most?
Spidey's.
Spider-Man's?
Yes. Because of the way he was begging for his life and he didn't want to go, and you just felt that. It was so sad. That was the one that hurt me the most.
Mr. Stark, I don't want to go.
Yes, and he's hugging him. He's hanging on for dear life, and
I know, it's crazy.
Sad. And then he's like, "I'm sorry." That was
yeah, because he felt that he
very
did.
Sad.
Because that's what I liked about Tom Holland's representation of Spider-Man, is that if he doesn't do something, he feels like he's always constantly trying to impress Tony Stark, because he views him as a father figure, and he's the next best thing to an actual father to him. So when he sees Tony Stark, everything he does, he tries to impress him. He tries to prove his worth. He tries to, be there for him. So him dying is, it's like he failed his father, and he wanted to do more. So definitely a lot of great depths to Spider-Man 2 as a character.
I also loved when he said, "I can't be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man if there's no neighborhood."
He said it didn't make sense, but it's true though. How can I be friendly with Spider-Man if there's no neighborhood?
Yes.
Oh god, all the pop culture references that he makes, and him telling Star-Lord that Footloose was never a good movie.
Yes. And his non-ending movie references.
Oh yes.
To come up with plans, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, I think that should be a thing that they should continue to do with him in all the other movies when they bring him back. And we'll talk about bringing them back in a second. But the death that made the most impact to me was Gamora's death. When Thanos sacrificed Gamora, that whole entire scene.
Yes.
The more I replay it in my head, is just seeing the moment when Red Skull was like, when she said, "Oh, really, tears?" and he said, "They're not for you.
They're not for you." ...
Yes. I was like, well, R.I.P. in peace, Gamora. It's been good knowing you.
It changed completely.
Oh yeah,
when he took her arm.
Mm-hmm. She was trying to take her own life to not give him the satisfaction of getting what he wants.
Yes.
But it pained him to even do that, because even when he said the stone better be up there for your sister's sake, he didn't even threaten her. He's threatening Nebula, and he's always used Nebula as a crutch too. Even in the comic books, he's always used her as a crutch. And I'll get to the Nebula theory too in a minute, but he's always used Nebula and as a way to kind of blackmail his kids to get him whatever he wants. And I wish another thing too I forgot, I wish they did a better explanation of a better way of explaining that the Black Order is Thanos' children. They are his children. They didn't really explain that well, even though he did say, "Go forth, my children."
The children of Thanos, yeah.
But
and he did say like your death at the hands of the children of Thanos or something like that.
Yeah.
But still, it
wasn't really like explained that these are his actual kids. But it's fine. It's just a minor thing. Who cares? But
and they didn't even explain that Proxima and Corvus were husband and wife.
Yes.
Shouldn't be explained, but still, like, you didn't feel that connection at all.
Exactly.
You just saw them together, but you couldn't tell they were married.
Yeah, exactly. You couldn't tell. You didn't. They didn't explain it. They didn't explain a lot of the stuff, but I know they did change around a lot of things, and they didn't want to spend too much time detailing the Black Order, which I can understand too. Which we said earlier that this is a Thanos movie, so it only makes sense that they do that. But back to Gamora, I mean, just seeing the tears in his face. He said, "Even for you." He's like, I've left my I've ignored my destiny once before. I can't do it again, even for you. And
even for you, yeah.
When he threw her off, the tears in his face. He was so full of hurt and pain, and it hurt him. And it hurt me to see him hurt, and it also hurt me to see Gamora die. She's one of my favorite Guardians.
I know.
And
I know.
It pained me, man. Just that whole sequence. Just really I didn't cry the first time, but I cried the second time. I teared up a little bit the second time, and the music did not help.
It was very sad. Also, when he sees her, and she tells him, "Did you do it?" and he says, "Yes." What did it cost? Everything. That broke my heart as well.
Yeah, it did. It did. And even too when Mantis, which is really cool, man. When Mantis was trying to put him to sleep, and Peter is like, "What happened to Gamora?" He's all like, "My Gamora. She's my Gamora." No, no, she's nothing to you. She's my girl. She's my little baby girl. It's just seeing, just seeing Thanos as an actual father who cares was just different to me.
Yes.
And I like that approach.
And he loved her. He did love her, and that's what hurts most.
Exactly, he did love her. And it's like, you ask yourself the question, like, it's like asking yourself a question. Let's say like, oh, your child is in this train, and you know, she's blocking the way to save everyone else, and the only way to save everyone, including just everyone.
Save
Okay,
everyone else
just
is
say
like
everyone in the city, right, or everyone in the world. This is a really big train, but everyone in the world is on a spaceship or something. I'm like reaching for an explanation here, and I think people know where I'm going. And would you sacrifice your daughter to save the entire human race, or would you rather just save your daughter and the human race is extinct? You know, or facing their extinction, where you two
Tough.
would be the only two humans left in the entire world, or would you rather save the human race and sacrifice your only daughter? It's like that kind of situation. It's crazy to think about.
Yes.
It's
It was
wild to
very
think about.
sad as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm trying to think of
Also, well, I think, yeah, Gamora was my second that hurt most. My third, Loki. I couldn't believe it. It was he was the first one to go. Well, after Heimdall, but it was very sad to see him go in front of Thor. It was, okay.
yeah. I expected Loki to die, and his death didn't bother me too much because it's like I think his death will stick too, and that's because Loki's had a long run, and I lost my respect for Loki after the first Avengers movie, because I really respected Loki as a villain, but after in Thor Ragnarok they made him just look like nothing, and it's like, this is the god of mischief, this is Loki.
Yes.
And they just made him
They
look
changed
like
him completely.
they changed him. So I don't mind the humorous side of Loki. I do like it, but they made him look like a wuss, and that's not what Loki is. Even in the first Avengers movie, Loki's a menace. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's literally like a god to these people, and the only person he actually really feared was Thor. He didn't even really fear Odin like that. He tricked Odin so many times. You know what I'm saying? So, but I do see what you mean. A lot of people love Loki, and a lot of people love that character, so I do understand that. But for me, I was like, wow, he's dead. And it was like Thanos reassures the crowd, like, no resurrections this time.
I'm not playing, yeah.
Like, no resurrections this time. He's gone. You know what I mean? Like, this is it for him.
And I have to go as well with Bucky. That was a surprise. I honestly was like, what? When he's like, Steve, and then he goes.
Yeah.
And then everybody starts dying. That's heartbreaking.
I mean, the thing is with that though, I wanted them to do that. I wanted them to do that specific scene. I wanted them to do that scene at the end where everyone disappears. And because if they didn't do that, my thing was, if they did not give Thanos all the stones at the end, and when Thor does that epic axe throw and he goes straight through the heart, and Thanos says, "You should have gone for the head."
For the head, yeah.
Boom! I was like, yes, they.
And then
did
Thor's
it.
like, "What did you do? What did you do?" That was awesome.
Yeah, but then Thanos all like, yeet, and just disappears and goes away. And he's just like, I did what I had to do. I'm gone. I don't have to fight you anymore. I did what I had to do. And if they did not do that, I would have been, like I said, I would have been upset, because in the comic books, that is a major part of Infinity War. That's like the main reason for it. And, you know, everyone disappears in the beginning of Infinity War. Everyone disappears in the comics. So when they did that, I'm like, okay, great. They're actually doing the scenario.
And that was great as well, because it shows the audience that the stakes are high and that prices are to be paid. And that's great.
Yeah. I'm glad that it ended on a where I was kind of getting tired of seeing superhero movies where the bad guy always loses at the end, and
Yes.
the cliche ending,
And that everything's gonna be fine.
Yes. And no matter what happens, everything's gonna be fine in the end. And this movie showed you that no, man, like, even in this movie, no, people will die, things will happen, and that's it. The bad guy wins. The quote-unquote bad guy wins. And, I love that they did that. And it was just pure silence in my theater at the end of the movie.
Yeah, same here. Everybody was on the edge of their seat throughout the entire thing. It was crazy. I think it's one of the most awesome experiences I've had in a movie theater, especially at midnight, because all of them were fans and all of them knew what was happening. So they're like, oh, and they were clapping and they were crying. And it was awesome.
Oh yeah, it was a fun experience to just be a part of, and all these years just waiting for Infinity War to come up and waiting for this to happen was just really cool, and I really love that we finally got a chance to witness it. Speaking of the deaths, characters I know for a fact that are coming back is Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
He's back. Black Panther is coming
Yeah.
back because Disney's not going to want to waste that Black Panther 2 money opportunities. Nope.
Yeah, especially after his solo movie.
Exactly. They're not going to want to waste that. And also to Doctor Strange, a little bit up in the air because he doesn't have a movie confirmed, but he doesn't not have one not confirmed. So it's like they could either keep him dead or bring him back. They can either work either way with it. Also to the Guardians, most of the Guardians are going to be back.
I was thinking about that, the Guardians. Like, how are you going to have Guardians 3 without
the Guardians?
most of your Guardians? Yeah.
But I don't know if Gamora will be back, though. That's the thing.
I don't think so, maybe. Well, I'm talking about real stuff, her Avatar contract.
Yeah.
She has a lot of movies there, so I don't think she's going to have time to stay a Guardian and be an Avatar. So.
Exactly, yeah. Just totally remembered her Avatar contract as well, too. I mean, but it's like just like look at Thanos and look at Josh Brolin. He was shooting Deadpool when he was shooting Infinity War 2 at the same time. So, you know, something could work out. You know, you never know. But if she dies, if she's dead for dead, like she's dead, man.
And it's the saddest death ever.
Oh my gosh,
it was very sad to see it.
Oh my gosh, man! Because when she kissed Peter, I was like, okay, she's gonna die. Because all these movies, she never did. She never kissed him. She never admitted her love for him. Nothing. She's just always been silent and always never admitting to actually loving him. And when it happened, when she actually admitted to, when she was like, "I love you more than you'll ever know," I was like, "Oh, she's dead."
And when she asked him to kill her, that too, that was like a hint.
Oh yeah,
that she was gonna die.
That she was gonna die. That at least there was gonna be a position where she's in that position where she has to ask, you know, for that scene to come up.
And he was gonna do it.
He was gonna do it, and it was so cool because Thanos was like, I like you.
I like you.
You have guts. You have guts. You actually might be worthy of my daughter Gamora, because he's like Thanos is like, this guy actually might be worth my daughter's love. He was actually about to kill her. I like that. Like, this guy got some guts. Okay, okay, I see you.
Yeah, it was great.
Then he left him alone. He didn't even kill him because he liked him, just because he had the guts. He's like, okay, all right, bro.
I love how he was like the boyfriend.
Yeah, the boyfriend. He's like, well, you heard her, do it, and you didn't do it. Oh, I like you. Okay.
This film, honestly, it's so good. I cannot wait to see it again and again.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Awesome. But, guys, I think that's pretty much all we can discuss for the movie. There's so much more to even go into. And a lot of these videos, like I said, I have so many other videos planned for the rest of this week concerning individual topics in this movie that I will spend more time on, like possible predictions as to how everyone will come back and if they can come back, where is Black Panther, where is these other people, what's going to happen to Wakanda, what's going to happen to the rest of the world, what's going to happen with Captain Marvel. I have so many videos planned on that, and if I were to talk about it in this video, this video would be super long. So, yeah, any other last words you have to say before we end this video?
Just go watch it. It's an experience. You really have to, like,
go
see
watch
for
it
yourself.
if we didn't already spoil everything to you.
Yeah. Go watch it again and again because it's worth watching it many times. See Easter eggs or things that you might have missed. It's a great film. The Russo brothers are just so happy the next installment is in their hands, and I just cannot wait to see where this goes.
Oh yeah, I'm very excited to see where this will end up, how this will end up, what's gonna happen with it. I'm just very excited, just as much as you are, to see where this goes. Remember, guys, you guys can find her YouTube channel in the description box below. You can also find her link to her Stardust page in the description box below as well. Stephanie, thank you so much for joining me in the spoiler discussion for Infinity War. We had some technical issues, but thank you. All right, guys, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Bye.